Hi, everybody. This is a very happy, calm session with no rage, no frustrations, only good thoughts and good vibes. Especially after last session with that undescribably annoying, any manner of adjectives you want to use, that fridge. I was just so fed up, but I've had a chance to calm down, look at some nice calming pictures of a beach and listen to the ocean, and I think we're in a good spot. Let's go talk to our brother. I'm sure everything's going to be perfectly fine. There's going to be no issues. It's going to be easy peasy. As we said last time, we're going to skip the runaways for a moment because it looks like we can't even access them fully, given our level. And we need to grab level 6. So while we're here, we do have 3 ability points to take on. I'm wondering if the shield strength is worth picking up a bit more of. I haven't been using it because it feels like it's been too weak, but maybe the shield strength is less about duration and more about the amount of damage it can tank. And I do enjoy having the ability to throw debris at people if possible. I don't know. The seize duration, we can seize an additional enemy. I'm trying to think what would be most helpful. I almost think just grabbing one more bit of health, just with the amount of struggle that we've had lately. I think that's an investment well spent. Alright, so with that, let's go to Central Executive. And our brother has supposedly gone there to turn himself in. Of course, we'll believe it when we see it. Clearly, from the audio logs that we uncovered, he is harboring a bit of a resentment towards us, since he doesn't know that we've been trying to find him for years and years, and he thinks that we just kind of happily went about our life, not worried about him and not caring if he was incarcerated. So hopefully he'll listen to reason. I'm sure it'll be fine, right?
Oh my god, did she have to write everything in her made-up gibberish code?
Let's talk to him real quick.
I don't think I ever told you this, but I was actually on the path to being a ranger once. Did the whole boot camp thing. Even got rookie status. Anyway, not the point.
Just looking at him like, what? Why do I need to know this?
There was 6 plus me. Remus, Hazard, Cho, Guy, Hepton, Stoll, and Thompson. They were supposed to get back from an expedition yesterday. We had beers and wings planned. Problem is, they weren't here when Darling handed out the HRAs.
Then they had nothing protecting them from the hiss.
You see, they prepped for the worst, but I think that we're already past that. We all wore these pouches around our neck, and I really don't want the hiss to get them.
Like dog tags of some sort?
The squad would have come back through maintenance, but they probably spread out from there.
I'll keep an eye out for them, Arish. And I won't let them stay hiss.
Okay. Sure. Let's learn about each of them.
Oh, fuck. Don't get me started on BlackRock.
Oh, this is not about
ever
them.
since
This is
research
just about
found out
other
that Rock's
topics.
Paranatural stuff, they have just been parading dangerous materials in and out of the fucking quarry. Fucking lab coats, man. Love making my job harder.
Sounds like there's some tension between departments.
Still, at least the quarry's got a good view of the night sky. Me and Salvador used to have after-work beers down there.
But no smoking. There's a no smoking policy. That's the most important thing to remember.
What do you know about Dr. Darling?
About as much as anybody, I guess. Head of research, loves to hear himself talk. All of those science types absolutely do. Now he's been acting a little bit psycho recently. Although HR told me not to use that word, so...
Everyone thinks finding Darling will lead us to the answers. But if he's completely lost it, then what help could he be?
Yeah, that was my thought. He seems to have gone off the deep end.
You're security, right? Do you work with Rangers?
Not often. Rangers are specially trained in threshold reconnaissance and ground zero AWE response. Security is more interested in the dangers inside the Bureau.
They must see some weird stuff out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Every week they are tackling things that were previously unknown to the human experience. Most Rangers, they retire due to cognitive collapse. I looked up the medical definition. Not fun.
Yeah, seems like a stressful job.
How does the Bureau handle thresholds?
Handle might be a bit of an optimistic way to put it. Marshall sends her rangers in to map them, check growth rates, locate epicenters, take samples, measure stuff, basically.
Sounds like he's done his homework.
Now, down in maintenance, thresholds are used just like any other tool. Lab coats mine black rock from one, maintenance siphons water from another. We use it for pretty much everything, except drinking.
Why don't you drink it?
Do I even want to know?
Yeah, a lot of time we find these little chunks in it. It's pretty gross.
I didn't want to know.
No. Yeah, let's not ask any more about that.
What do you think of Marshall?
Marshall? Marshall's a fucking badass. Rangers could not ask for a better leader. She's a little, intense, but given the stuff she's seen, I'm not surprised. She does have a bad habit of disappearing, though.
Where does she go?
Last time she vanished, I did some digging into the security logs. I found camera footage of her entering the quarry. She was down there alone for days. Now, typically that's not allowed, but Marshall is kind of above the rules.
I wonder what she finds so interesting in the quarry.
Maybe she's making deals with the Hiss. I do feel like there must be some kind of like insider threat, if that makes sense, to what's going on here. Either Darling or Trench before he bought it, or who knows. Oh, what's this? Jukebox Token. Put a record on. Okay, this is interesting. Now we're picking up all kinds of side missions that I feel like we'd been a little short on before. So, with that... Is our brother actually here? No way, right? Alright, hang on. There's all kinds of new reports for us to read. Let's do our homework first. Timeline of events. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns to Hiss behavior. Establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of lack of reliable communications between Bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? How does Hiss resonance advance through space? Deliberately or uniformly? What's their ultimate goal? The outside world, a cross-dimensional destination. Yeah, is it an invasion? Is it... like, what's the end result? Desired end result. Linguistic ability. Researchers were sent to transcribe the recursive chant repeated by the Hiss entities. In the interest of safety, this was done with the non-aggressive, floating Hiss entities. However, no distinction between this repeating phrase and the one repeated by the more violent Hiss entities has been observed. What is the purpose of this repeating string of words? Is this how the Hiss corrupts individuals? Does the chant produce a physical effect? Is it a message, an incantation? We were able to record a first-hand recitation of the chanting. See the corresponding audio record. Can we listen to that? Maybe in the multimedia? And these are things we've heard before, pretty much. Okay. Speech analysis. If we understand the Hiss to be a force based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is now the agreed-upon term for their vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be differences if the incantation were recited in a different language? The most common word used is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to a you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You must want these waves to drag you away. Are we the you the Hiss is referring to? Does the Hiss believe humanity, possibly all non-Hiss life, wants to join it? To be consumed by it, is that its goal? The second most used words are through and time. Is this possibly the Hiss stating how they arrived here, or an indication of its age? There is clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommend, is beyond idiotic. Yeah, I wonder if we're ever really going to get answers. It just seems like these are kind of like an unknowable force, so we may just be left with speculating even when all's said and done.
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late?
How is he? I need to know.
He's clearly been affected by the hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded. Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control, more present.
I want to see him.
My brother? Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs.
Okay, I need to go.
Jesse, be careful.
There's something else we need to talk to her about? Possible.
Jesse, when you were down in research, did you run into a Dr. Rhea Underhill?
No, I
didn't.
don't. Doesn't ring
Who
a
is
bell.
She is a colleague of mine. A researcher studying a kind of extra-dimensional mold growing below research.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
No one does. Look, I haven't heard from Rhea since the hiss arrived. Would you mind having a look around for her next time you're in research?
Of course.
Thanks, Jesse. Now, what's on your mind?
Have we already talked to her about these things? Let's try this one.
This place is looking good. Arish is making real progress around here.
Right? This place is a fortress. And with him taking care of operations here, I can spend more time analyzing the hiss. I've been attempting to isolate and neutralize the hiss resonance in blood samples, but no luck so far.
So you can't reverse it.
Not yet, but perhaps reversing it is too simple. See, if hiss resonance can rewrite human genetics, then perhaps it's a question of rewriting the hiss resonance. In theory, that could pave the way for custom human genetic alteration.
Slippery
I
slope.
wonder how often the phrase mad scientist is used around here.
Right. Like that could be an easy one to be used for something other than good.
I visited the quarry. What's the plan for all that black rock?
The Bureau has used BlackRock almost exclusively for containment purposes. See, I say, branch out. Instead of boxes, helmets. Instead of blast shields, knives.
Knives?
Yes, knives. So many combat applications. Slicing, stabbing, gouging.
Okay, alright, let's settle down. Not get too excited about
Sorry.
that.
I've been trying to get Darling to explore combat applications for years. I got a little excited.
Wow. I did not expect that from her.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like the combat type.
How is HRA production coming along?
Better than expected. We've already made enough to get people out of a couple safe rooms. And they're here, alive, thanks to you. And we never would have lasted this long if you hadn't walked in those doors.
You deserve thanks too, of course.
We got this place up and running together, Emily.
Alright. Good stuff.
be
We're on good terms.
Enjoy your data.
Oh, I will.
Let's see, is there anything else we need to talk about? No, it looks like we're good. So we have a bunch of missions that we just collected here. Arish's Rangers. Ask Arish about the Jukebox Token. Dr. Underhill. So we are, I don't know, maybe I was misreading the situation and we have still a good amount of content left. Which is all good with me.
Made up gibberish.
I found this token. Any idea what it does?
Ah, that is a jukebox token. Little bastards turn up in the weirdest places, like bad pennies. The Rangers use them to activate an old object of power.
A jukebox, I assume. Does it have any good songs?
Nope, just the one record. Hey, be careful turning it on, though. When it's playing, you get a free trip to the formation.
The formation. That
Is that
sounds
like
ominous.
the astral
Why does it
plane?
send you there?
The Bureau has been wondering that for years. I mean, it's just a pile of rocks built by God knows who, but... Well, researchers have confirmed it's in the same threshold as the quarry. Well, no one's ever been able to map a physical route to the formation from maintenance.
So it's in the quarry. You just don't know where.
Pretty much. We only send in annual expeditions to the formation now. Checkups, Salvador calls them. This year's team went in the day the hiss arrived.
You haven't come out, I'm
The song
guessing.
should have blown back hours ago.
I can go in and take a look.
I'd appreciate that.
Huh.
The jukebox is kept just past the security booth over there. Just put in the token and enjoy the ride.
Jukebox Hero, huh? Alright, well that actually does sound like, it sounds like fun.
You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
But first, Jukebox Tokens can be constructed at control points or earned through bureau alerts, board countermeasures, expeditions, and defeating elite enemies. So, huh. We've got some new outfits. Oh, cool. Golden suit. Yeah, we'll rock this for a little bit. I don't know if it's my favorite outfit, but just for the change of pace, we may as well. And then what else? Jukebox tokens. Set of 3, set of 5. We need a lot of source for it, though. Bizarre. I still have no idea, or like no concept of what it could possibly be for. what could possibly happen. But let's not get too sidetracked for now. We will get to the jukebox portion. But let's go ahead and talk with Dylan real quick, just to get an idea of what his deal is. So, on the upper level, huh?
If they're in there, we go around that way. No.
The gold suit is kind of a nice, like, color change of pace. You see it's got that little triangle portion on the back, though, like right between the shoulder blades. Coincidence? Yeah, probably. Oh, I'm surprised we haven't read this before. Pope's promotion. Employee report. Dr. Darling has personally recommended Miss Pope for a promotion based on her work ethic. Oh, Emily, right. Her work ethic and assistance in advancing many ongoing research matters for breakthroughs resulting from her work. According to her colleagues, Pope has displayed a keen eye for detail and a quick grasp of paranatural concepts. She is professional and diligent, though some of her co-workers complain of social disinterest. The review committee approves this recommendation and promotes Miss Pope to the position of research specialist. Very nice. I am impressed with Emily so far. She's given me no reason to doubt her expertise. Collective unconscious is defined as a form of the unconscious that is shared in all human minds. From this arises unconscious knowledge linking us through our ancestral heritage. Through this collective unconscious, we unknowingly attribute a series of images and archetypes to all elements of our lives. These archetypes are never fixed, but shift and change in tandem with our species and culture. This internal belief in the power of images shared by a massive population is, fundamental in the creation of altered items and objects of power. The sheer amount of blank is exuded is attracted to the best representation of that image, imbuing a single object with massive amounts of power, probably. Theoretically, places of power could likewise be formed by the simple power of sustained collective belief. I wonder if that's a hint towards how, through our collective unconscious of everybody that we're rescuing, that maybe we will be able to get rid of the hiss that way. I think we've already cleared this out. Probably in here, right? Is where he's being kept. Oh. Is this like a April Fool's prank? Okay. Huh. I mean, it's yellow just like we're yellow, so... Sticky note complaint. To whom it may concern, in case you are not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I will be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me on my cell or home. Watch it. I bet you he did it on purpose just so he could, get some telework flexibility. Which good for him, If he can do it, then why not? Got some trigonometry going on over here. Well, the look of the room is actually really growing on me. I don't know what it is about it. It's so visually appealing.
I heard some rangers saying you saved them in maintenance. They were attacked by a new kind of hiss, and Arish got them out.
All right, but still.
Okay, so where exactly
I don't know if I like taking calls.
are we meant to find Dylan? Executive, central executive. Maybe we just didn't circle far enough. Is he in here? Oh, yep. There he is.
You are a worm through time. The thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror, inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been a near you. You want this to be true. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. Through time, the thunder's home distorts you. Happiness
Somewhat
comes,
problematic.
but yellow and red in the eye.
Wake up, bro.
You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's home distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can you
but
hear
yellow
me?
and red in the eye.
Oh, come on, Dylan. I'm here. I found you.
You've always been a near you. You want this to be true.
Do you know who I am?
Oh, you know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
He's talking in the third person. Always a good sign.
Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that. I'm P6. P6. But I'm better now. The hiss made me better. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet.
Oh no.
You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please?
Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
It feels good to say those words. I want to say them. They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No.
Not really.
Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
Uh-oh.
You came in through the hole in you. We let you in. You've always been here. The only truth. A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Stop it!
Orangefield.
Shit. Shit. He can
It's like
see you.
the two entities
not
recognized each other.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in Ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector. But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my own powers. She didn't help when they locked me up for years. After the song time for applause, we build you till nothing remains. The egg cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home. The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does. They
Experiment.
used it. And they found... They opened the door up to the hiss.
Uh-huh.
That's the only thing I can thank them for.
So it is their fault.
There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
An earworm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, 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 yeah. Just plastic. So safe. Nothing to worry about. Funny. I welcomed the hiss. I let it in. To get rid of her. The hiss set me free. Polaris is using you. The Bureau is using you. You are a puppet. You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
Your regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
Is the slide projector
You
not
must see
here?
the truth for yourself, Jesse. Sister. The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option. Go to the prime candidate program in the containment sector. I have the keycard to get you there.
Oh,
Salvador wanted me to have it.
that's helpful.
Bullshit. I saw what the hiss did to Salvador. What it turned him into.
Are there more
Okay,
candidates there, maybe?
I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me.
Yeah,
We
maybe.
can
I don't know.
end this.
Maybe there's more sinister stuff that the board was doing that we haven't seen yet. Oh, level 6. There we go.
Happiness comes. White
Maybe we want to talk to him again?
I don't know what else I'm hoping to find here.
Dylan,
Can we ask you a few questions?
can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
Off to a good start.
I don't know about
Okay.
that, but
I'm listening.
I was back in Ordinary before all of this happened. But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I was the only child. A girl. My name was Jesse Dylan
oh,
Faden.
what?
But then the Bureau came and caught me.
Are we
brought me
like
back here,
basically
locked me up.
are we two halves of the same person?
Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names,
That's true.
boys' names, could be anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Don't you find that weird? I find that weird.
I had not considered that.
Sure.
What the hell was that?
So, but
Is he trying
what
to
does that
mess with
imply?
me?
You are a worm through time. The thunderstorm distorts you. Happiness comes.
Looks like we can still talk to him. Whenever I see the flashing red triangle, I feel like we should exhaust those conversation options before moving on. So, let's keep going.
Maybe Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please. Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
This again?
Is it
I
the
was
same
going
one?
to be the new director
Oh,
of this
no.
place. I helped you get a job here so that we could be together.
You
were
helped
an
me get a
office
job?
assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing. And then it shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them. But in this other dream, it was more like a musical. This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town. It's the ordinary story. She worked an ordinary job in an ordinary
This is so weird.
something, something.
Yeah, I know the one. It was written by
That's all I can
Lin-Manuel
remember
Miranda.
of that
I know.
dream.
Maybe that's for the best.
You are a worm through
So what is the implication? Is this basically him just trying to, him or the entity trying to get into our mind? So what did we learn from those conversations? One, it was like the kind of the unisex nature of both of our names, and then that one was about maybe a dream that he had of the future that he wanted. He said something about he got us the job here, so somehow he was able to communicate outside of us, or outside the walls, and help us to find this place, because I remember we were searching for this place for the longest time, but couldn't find it. Let's keep it rolling, I guess.
Maybe I can learn more about the hiss from him.
Can we talk?
I just had an interesting dream.
No, more dreams. Always dreams with this guy.
Shit.
That's fascinating, but let's talk about the hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the hiss.
I
Best I'm
guess.
gonna get.
Go ahead.
In my dream, the hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the hiss in. Spread the word.
Well, that's ominous.
At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around until the whole world was brought together by the hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay, thanks for sharing that.
For the record, that will never happen.
It's
Not as long
so
as I'm alive.
funny how they can kind of build tension without seeing like crazy cut scenes of it actually happening. Just his simple storytelling ability. He's a really good storyteller. I give him that. It really like builds the image in our mind. I wonder how many more of these there
I'm
are.
just here to punish myself.
Any new dreams you'd like to share, Dylan?
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real. Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was in a dark place, and there was a dark man there. His name was Mr. Door.
Mr. Door.
And he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop. In another world, the cop was real. Door said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there. But he didn't want to help me. He didn't like the idea. What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
So the idea of the multiverse and many different avenues and other realities, and I know, like I said before, the Alan Wake franchise is connected to Control in some way. So I mean, there's connections there for sure.
Here we go again. Once more with feeling.
Look,
Let me
props to
guess.
us for
You wanna tell me
consistency,
about your
right?
dream?
For persistence.
Yes. In fact, I'm having a dream right now.
Oh. That's new.
In this dream, I'm standing in the corner watching Jesse and Dylan talk about this very dream. This very dream! He said just now! And repeated it again now! I'm standing there and watching, and that's all I can do. It's as if I'm trapped there. And that's all I have to say about that dream.
Okay, Dylan. That's good.
Is he still in there? Or is
Yeah.
this the hiss playing mind games?
Comes white pearls, but yellow and red
I don't know.
mirror the inverted is made right.
Okay, I think that was the last conversation available. But it definitely seems like he is around. Like he has, he's having an out-of-body experience, like a, oh, I forget what it's called. But basically, like dissociative phenomenon for some sort. Like he's watching himself be in this room. So I don't know what the implications were for us listening to all of those, but hopefully it helps like build our relationship with him in some way. So from here, what do we want to do? The primary objective would be to go to the Prime Candidate program. But we do have level 6 clearance now, so I think we should take care of some of these side missions. Maybe we want to, let's see, Central Research. Let's see where that is. Central Research. I'm not 100% sure. Central Research. Okay. That's right here. Let's go check it out. Then when we come back and tell them about Dr. Underhill, we can maybe knock out the jukebox. And I don't know if it's worth checking in on the janitor again just to see if he has more to say to us. But it's kind of strange that we haven't seen him in quite some time. Below Central Research. I'm guessing that... Oh, there's an elevator. Right, that we want to take down. Oh, shoot, where did that come from? Let's go ahead and take this first. Dodge efficiency. There's some enemies over there we could fight if we wanted to. I'm not really in the mood at the moment. Threshold utility. Thresholds have always been sources of great inspiration and great challenge. When a new threshold manifests in the oldest house, we never know what new discoveries will provide the Bureau, but we must always seize these opportunities. This report will examine the process of distinguishing recent threshold effects based on their utilitarian possibilities. The quarry brought Blackrock one of our most invaluable discoveries, but if the mold has any scientific value, then it has been difficult to find due to the lengths we must go in fighting back the particularly prolific plant. These are very distinct cases and worth comparing as their study offers vastly different dangers and rewards. Alright, I feel like this is where the lab must be, right? We have the ability to not die from falling, which is nice. Let's take it easy, just in case there's anything we want to grab along the way. Oh, okay. Landed a little bit harder than I meant. There we go. See, I knew. I knew it. I knew that they would put something along the way for us. For those who are patient. Okay. Good stuff. And one more should do it. The pit. Okay. This is a bit different than what we're used to. Got some cubes here, which means they're going to need to be attached to something, I'm going to guess. Okay. Where are we right now? I guess we don't have the a little mini-map for this area. Oh, I see. Hello. How are we doing on mods? We've got 23 out of 24 personal mods and 22 out of 24 weapon. Why don't we go ahead and sell off all of our... probably even all of our uncommon mods at this point. Just because, we're past that now. We're above it all. We're going to get a nice little influx of source, which is always appreciated. Alright, there's that. So weapon mods are good. And then down here, we'll go ahead and sell these off. There we go. Alright. Good stuff. We're a little bit short on cash right now after all the deaths from that from that fridge fight. So it's nice to start having a little influx there. Oh, these are the good guys. Okay. I was not expecting that. Spin rate of fire boost. What is that? A level 4 research?
Careful in there, ma'am. Area's under quarantine.
I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first.
Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
Oh, is she around? I will gladly talk to Underhill. She in here? Oh, shoot. Alright, let's come back. I feel like this is the area they were telling us not to go into. So maybe Underhill is in here.
Excuse me? Are you lost?
Oh, she is. She is in here. Okay. That was a little confusing. There we go. I guess we'll talk to her first, and then we will explore a bit.
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
Literally all the time
Clearly doesn't know who
nowadays.
she's talking to.
Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Why?
Oh, you haven't
Those
heard.
things the Rangers keep going on about.
Oh, you have
Haven't
heard.
people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
There's a lot of doom going around lately.
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
Any samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Collect 5 mold samples for Dr. Underhill. Oh, man. Okay, we can do that.
Have you worked with Emily Pope?
Our paths have crossed. Darling arranged for us to have a coffee. A meeting of the minds, he called it. She's talented. I can certainly see her doing well here.
I feel like there's a but coming.
Right, I was like,
But she's
however...
drunk a bit too much of the Bureau's proverbial Kool-Aid. She shouldn't be afraid to forge ahead on her own. Science is skepticism. Everything must be questioned before the truth can emerge.
So is Darling your boss?
If you insist on clinging to such outdated hierarchies, then yes. However, I would argue that our fields are too dissimilar for one to manage the other. Of course, Darling would much prefer to find his own miracle solution to the Bureau's fungal frustrations. He always needs to be the hero.
I wonder if, I guess that means she doesn't have any background in where he might be.
So tell me again how you came to work at the Bureau?
Well, like I said, I was brought in as a special advisor. A temporary position, you see. Although that's not the whole truth. I was employed here for a time, straight out of university. After a decade of admittedly fascinating work in threshold research and regulation, I began to chafe under the bureaucracy. I needed a change. Not that academia was so different.
And then the mold happened.
About 4 months ago, yes. Since my departure from the Bureau, they hadn't been able to find my equal in threshold analysis. Darling and I had kept in touch over the years, meeting at conferences and the like. He called me, and I booked a flight. I've never been able to say no to a man with a dangerous alien biosphere. I had to leave my post in the middle of term, but so be it.
So she's a professor. That explains a lot.
Some people have hobbies like, you know, stamp collecting or wine tasting. She's got mold.
The mold seems to be having some weird effects on things.
Indeed. Even people are susceptible. The fungus grows rapidly within the chest cavity, killing the host. Luckily, one must ingest the stalks to become infected.
Don't eat the mold. Okay.
We've always cremated the infected bodies after autopsy, but I believe there may be another stage of maturity. A blooming, if you will.
Oh man, I'm getting like Last of Us vibes.
Blooming would sound so horrible.
Like a zombie stage or something.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
Okay, there's a couple things for us to read in here. Mold threshold. So you want to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper. Here it is. Microscopic organisms similar in appearance to blank construct the architecture in the mold. Probably like fungus. These blank are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I have ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly subsumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived, which means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It is truly an ingenious little thing. A full report will be ready soon. Keep your slacks on. She does not seem disturbed at all by the kind of carnivorous nature of this thing. Threshold Utility Counter Essay. Dr. Darling's recently penned essay contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau while the mold is actively hostile, to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions and their life forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the blank creating the mold were reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into something. Yes, admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. So she's all in on it for its possibly growing potential. Its potential to create things other than like the organisms it infects, like structures. Interesting. Okay, we read everything up here. So I guess the only thing for it now is to head into the mold area. So with that, why don't we...
So sweet down here. Suddenly I'm really hungry.
Yeah, don't eat it.
I wonder how this mold tastes.
No, don't do it. They're like Tide Pods. Anyway, let's pause here for a little bit. When we come back, we'll hopefully not eat the mold, but we'll go in and investigate it. Looking at the quest that we're tracking right now, grows near fresh corpses, toilets, television, staircases, and the pit. I wonder if there's a way for us to see. No, it doesn't look like it. Like, for instance, there's a staircase right here. Is it possible we can pick something up here right around... No, I guess that there's a specific staircase that we need to be on the lookout for. So, with that, we'll pause, and when we pick it up, we will go explore the mold. Sounds fascinating. I'll see you then.